After the sweeping agricultural reforms introduced by this government in Rajya Sabha on Sunday, the government is now moving on towards labor reforms. Hi, I am Yogima Seth from the Economic Times, and I will tell you in this video the three labor legislations that the government has introduced in Parliament on Saturday. We will talk about what these legislations are, the changes that they propose, and how it will impact the employers and the employees. Let me give you a brief introduction of what government intends to do. It was in 2014 that the government decided to consolidate 44 labor laws into 4 codes. This was the Labor Code on Wages, the Code on Social Security, the Industrial Relations Code, and the Code on Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions. The first, which was the Code on Wages, was already passed by the government last year and has been notified, though not implemented yet. The remaining 3 have been introduced by Labour Minister Santosh Gangwar in Lok Sabha on Saturday. Talking about the codes in detail, the first one, which is the Occupational Code, or the Code on Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions. This code provides for contract workers. It says that there will be a single license for all the staffing firms that have workers on contract, which is a major improvement over the existing provision, and it will ease the way the staffing firms function. The other thing that the code provides for is a mandatory employment letter that has to be given to all employees at the time of hiring, which wasn't the case till now. Second is the Code on Industrial Relations. This is a very significant code as it gives sweeping powers to the states to amend the labor laws in their respective states to suit their requirements. As per the existing provisions, firms which have 100 or less than 100 employees need to seek an approval from the center for closure or retrenchment of the employees. However, under the code, the government has raised this ceiling to 300, which directly means that now even bigger firms do not have to go to the government for any closure or retrenchment. This will make it very easy for employers to hire and fire workers. However, it is coming at a time when the unemployment in the country is already at a high. Third is the Code on Social Security. Under this code, the government has laid out an intent to provide universal social security to all workers in the country. This includes the unorganized workers, the gig workers, and the platform workers, with all put together accounting for nearly 90% of the country's total workforce. While the bill is clear that there will be a scheme which will be self-contributory and voluntary, it clearly says that the government is not going to fund any of the schemes entirely. The schemes will be part of the rules which will be drafted later once this legislation and other legislations are passed. There is a divide between, however, the industry and the experts. While industry is very optimistic that these bills will go a long way to help employers, the experts or the trade unions are apprehensive that this will lead to greater unemployment in the country.
The fact that 39 crore of informal workers today are outside the social security ambit and wage protection ambit, this is finally a very welcome change that will come into play, where organized staffing industry can not only increase the ambit of the 3.3 million workers that are currently into this protected organized staffing industry, which can now become a whole new playground for almost 390 million informal workers to come into this ambit. The whole reason of the flexi staffing industry today is that in an already stretched economy where government is stretched, user companies are stretched, the workers are not getting their dues. This formalization will be a welcome change that is much required for the growth of this economy.
These amendments have to be viewed in the context of 2 factors. One, the unemployment in general and urban unemployment in particular has been rather high, and urban unemployment has been hovering around 7 to 8%. If we take 300 as a threshold, according to the annual state of industries data, 90% of the working factories and little over 40% of the workers will be beyond the purview of these two classes, which means that workers in the smaller establishments employing less than 300 workers will not enjoy employment security in any sense.
Though the government is confident that it will get these legislations passed in the parliament, there is whole lot of apprehension as it has been opposed by all parties in the house. Besides, there is also a fear that this bill will lead to unemployment. Whether these bills are positive or negative for the employers will be seen only once these are notified and implemented.